There is a kind of love that does not come with a big bang. It does not knock loudly on the door, does not demand to be opened immediately, nor does it seek the spotlight. It arrives slowly, almost silently, like dew falling before dawn. By the time you realize it, it has already soaked your heart. It is this kind of love that makes many people fall silent when these two names are mentioned in the same breath. Esther you and he you. Not because of an official announcement, not because of a clear statement, but because of something far more dangerous. Words that feel too honest to be mere acting, and a silence that is too meaningful to be ignored. In the midst of an entertainment world that loves to wrap everything in sensation, this story moves in the opposite direction. It does not scream, "Look at me." It does not compete to be the most visually dramatic, but chooses a quiet path. A path where love is not announced, but felt. A path where feelings are not claimed, but allowed to grow in small spaces that often escape attention. And it is precisely because of this that the story feels more deeply rooted. There is something that makes the hearts of fans tremble, as if they are witnessing something too intimate to be public consumption, yet too beautiful to look away from. Words play a major role here. Not big words, not lofty promises, but simple sentences spoken in a low tone and with honest eyes. Sentences that seem ordinary at first glance, but when listened to with feeling, carry a heavy emotional weight. About choosing, about staying, about the courage to not leave even though there are 1,000 reasons to retreat. Words like these don't need excessive emphasis. They work slowly, seeping in, then settling. And that's where love begins to feel real, not as a concept, but as an experience. Esther Yu, with all her cheerfulness and openness, brings emotions that she does not try to hide. There is an almost painful honesty in the way she expresses her feelings. Every smile, every pause before speaking, every breath seems to imply that she is not just playing a role, but allowing her feelings to breathe in front of the camera. When she utters lines about choices and trust, her voice doesn't sound like a memorized dialogue. She sounds like someone who is truly putting her heart on the line. And perhaps that's what makes many people feel connected, because that kind of sincerity is difficult to fake. On the other hand, Yu brings a contrasting yet complementary calmness. He doesn't dominate the space with words, but fills it with his presence. There is stability in his demeanor, as if he is a place of refuge for turbulent emotions. When he is silent, the silence is not empty. It is full of attention, full of willingness to listen, full of meaning that does not need to be translated verbally. When he finally speaks, his words feel like decisions, not just responses. And precisely because he does not try to convince anyone, his presence becomes even more convincing. What makes the heart ache the most are the moments without dialogue. When eyes meet and do not immediately look away. When a smile appears and then disappears, as if both are aware that the feelings are too big to be expressed carelessly. This kind of gaze cannot be completely faked. It is born from comfort, from a sense of security, from a trust that is slowly formed. That is where love is often acknowledged first, long before words follow. And sensitive viewers will feel it, even though there is not a single explicit sentence to say so. The love depicted here is not a burning love, but a warming one. It is not explosive, but consistent. It is not intoxicating, but soothing. It is a love that is not busy proving anything to the world, but is enough for the two people who live it. The words that emerge feel like reflections of real life, about the fear of loss, about the hesitation to take a step, about the courage to choose someone even though the future is unclear. And isn't that what we experience most often? Love that is not perfect, but honest. Not always certain, but still enduring. Perhaps that is why the fans' enthusiasm is so great. Not because they demand certainty, but because they find hope. Hope that love can still be conveyed gently, without needing to be flaunted. That feelings do not always have to be announced to be considered real. That in an increasingly noisy world, there is still room for quiet intimacy. This story doesn't promise an absolutely happy ending, but it offers something far more human. A process. A journey. Small choices made every day to stay. Is all of this real, or just an illusion born from the script and interpretation? That question may never be fully answered, but the feelings it leaves behind cannot be denied. There is warmth that lingers, a vibration that is difficult to explain, a small belief that grows quietly in the hearts of the audience that love like this is still possible. Love that is not rushed, that does not chase climaxes, that is not afraid of silence. Love that allows time to pass, allowing feelings to find their own rhythm. In the end, perhaps that is how the deepest love works. It does not need official recognition. It does not demand public validation. It only needs honesty, which is often purest when conveyed through simple words and consistent actions. And if the story of Esther you and he you leaves one unforgettable impression, it is the belief that love does not always have to be shouted to be heard. Sometimes it is enough to whisper it. Sometimes it is enough to show it. Sometimes it just needs to be felt. And it is precisely in that tenderness that love finds its most honest, most fragile, and most beautiful form. Perhaps even now, we still don't know whether all of this is real or just feelings that grew from words. But one thing is certain, the feeling you just felt is real, because love doesn't always need acknowledgement. Sometimes it is present in silence, in the choice to stay, and in words spoken softly. But honestly, if you think love like this is more touching than love that is announced to the world, write your opinion in the comments section. Do you believe in love that only lives in words and glances? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone you've chosen, even if you've never said it. See you in the next story, and may we all dare to love in the most honest way.